Oh, just when you think the world can't get any more crazier, it does. Here's 12 signs that America has become a politically correct madhouse. Remember, these are all just recent, like in the last week, couple weeks or month. There could literally be a list of like 100 or more if you did it from the last year. But anyways, here I'll do a quick recap and I'll come back and read this article. There you go. There's Santa with his interracial boyfriend or dad. Santa is a gay man in a new interracial relationship in this new picture book for kids. Student has grade docked for daring to use the word mankind in an English paper. A North Arizona University student lost credit on an English paper for using the forbidden word mankind instead of a gender-neutral alternative. And just recently in California, a Northern Hollywood school budget cuts due to high white student percentage sparks outrage. So they just topped. There's only like 68 or 67%, Asians, blacks, and Hispanics. Like there's like 31 or 32% whites. As soon as you go over 30%, now they're going to be losing up to 9 teachers, a librarian, and maybe a nurse, and they get budget cuts because there's too many white people at the school. And a California elementary school bans tag after it gets just too rough for kids. And students denounced as racist for daring to wear the U.S. flag colors. And a Christian college says the Bible is not inclusive enough. And isn't that lovely? Snickers promotes LGBT with new rainbow wrapper. Transgender volleyball player has eyes on the 2020 Olympics. And another transgender a man wins a women's weightlifting competition in New Zealand. Oh, isn't it wonderful how much we're progressing? What in the world is happening in the United States? We are rapidly getting to the point where political correctness is in danger of becoming our national religion. Of course, most people would never even call it a religion, but for most Americans, this unwritten set of rules shapes everything that they think, do, and say. Many had been hoping that the spell of political correctness would be broken by the election of Trump, but that obviously has not happened. The forces of political correctness still have a stranglehold on our education system, all forms of entertainment, legal system, and most of the politicians in both political parties. That's why it's called political correctness. Just a quick little thought here before I go on. Everybody wants to be politically correct, but you got to think politicians are like the slimiest people on the earth. Everybody knows they lie. They're like chameleons. They say whatever they need to say to like whatever part of the country they're in to get elected. They flip flop. They're wishy washy. They don't have principles. They don't have integrity. They lie through their teeth. They're scum. They're degenerates for the most part, like 95% of them. So what boggles my brain is why does society find it so valuable to model their behavior after politicians? Because that's what political correctness is. So you're being politically correct. So you don't want to offend anybody. You want to you don't want to step on any toes. So society is voluntarily adhering to the modus operandi of politicians, which are the most hated people on the planet, that lie, steal, cheat, and are full of crap. So this just boggles my brain why society would voluntarily mold their behavior and their beliefs and their opinions and actions on slime. And then we wonder why we're going to crap. That's just my take on it. Anyways, let's go back to here. The unwritten rules of political correctness are shifting and changing all the time, and if you don't keep up with them, the penalties can be extremely severe. If you say or do the wrong thing at the wrong time, you could lose your friends, you could lose your job, and you could potentially even lose your reputation. In fact, there have been numerous people over the past year that have been publicly crucified in the court of public opinion for doing or saying something that was not politically correct. And with each passing day, the forces of political correctness take a little bit more ground. The following are just 12 recent signs that America has become a politically correct madhouse. According to Time magazine, a book entitled Santa's Husband will be released on October 10th by a major U.S. publisher that depicts Santa as a gay man in an interracial relationship. A middle school in North Hollywood is facing substantial budget cuts because they have too many non-minority students. Outrage has grown at Walter Reed Middle School in North Hollywood as the school faces layoffs and increased class sizes due to a law limiting funds for schools with higher white student body. The LA Unified School District provides more funding for schools where the white population is below 30%. In a letter to parents, the district noted the highly regarded middle school had been above the percentage for the past couple years. Number 3, according to Michael Moore, historians will mark March 28, 2017 as the day the extinction of human life on Earth began, because Donald Trump has rolled back Obama's climate change regulations. One of my readers just sent me a photo that his 16-year-old son took at school. It is a photo of a slide that was being projected onto a large screen at the front of his classroom that contained this message: Polls show that young people today are more accepting of lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender people than ever before. Why do you think that is? Well, I got it sneaking suspicious because they're getting brainwashed in schools. All the celebrities are pushing it. All the movies are pushing it. All the TV shows are pushing it. It's not rocket science to figure out why this has happened in the last 10 or 15 years. And they're exploding along the youth too. Anyways, an elementary school in California has banned the game of tag because it's just too dangerous. At one high school in Iowa, students were recently denounced as racist for daring to dress up in red, white, and blue for a basketball game. In North Carolina, as early as the first grade, a gender unicorn is being used to teach children about sexual orientation and gender identity. Just last year in our home city of Charlotte, North Carolina, the Charlotte-Mecklenburg school system used the gender unicorn to teach students as young as the first grade all about sexual orientation and gender identity. This cute little furry animal was used to promote the idea that sexual orientation asks the question, who do you go to bed with? While gender identity asks the question, who do you go to bed as? And as these can be fluid, of course, kids can change whenever and however they want and feel. According to Dr. Michael Brown, bathroom scales have been taken out of the gym at one college campus for a very strange reason. Administrators at Carleton University have removed the bathroom scales from the campus gym, claiming that being fixated on weight does not have any positive effect on your health. Christian University, Minnesota has told professors to stop using terms such as man and mankind because they are too masculine. Snickers bars will soon be sold in rainbow wrappers as part of the pro-LGBT ad campaign. A 32-year-old man will now compete in international volleyball events as a transgendered woman and may end up qualifying for the Olympics as a female athlete. The now 32-year-old says volleyball has been the constant in a life full of changes. In January, she was just approved by the USA Volleyball to compete as a woman. Before that, she was required to play in the men's division. USAV requires transgender women to undergo hormone replacement therapy consistently for at least 1 year with proper documentation, and they also have to change their identification like passports and birth certificates to female. Before, some organizations, including the Olympics, would require trans athletes to have sex reassignment surgery. And number 12, Planned Parenthood has killed millions of children, but nobody from that organization ever seems to get into trouble with the law. Instead, two activists that exposed the fact that Planned Parenthood is auctioning off baby parts to the highest bidder have been charged with 15 felonies in the state of California. In this type of environment, people like me are becoming dinosaurs. If you follow my work on a regular basis, you know that I'm not afraid to do or say things that might offend people. Of course, I'm not actually trying to offend people, but I won't let the forces of political correctness dictate what I cannot say about a particular topic. Ultimately, PC is a tool that progressives, I don't like calling them progressives, they're regressives to me, use to silence the opposition. And the only thing they're progressing us to is immorality and the road to hell. They want to make it a crime to think or say anything that they find offensive. And to a substantial degree, it's working. Our founders intended us to be permanently have a right to free speech. Now we have moved into a time when saying the wrong thing can get you brutally persecuted. I would like to be optimistic that we can start to roll back the forces of PC, but as I noted at the beginning of this article, they have control of our schools, our courts, our entertainment, and most of our political leaders. But of course, we can never give up the fight, because if they win, life in America will ultimately become a complete and total nightmare. Orwell, 1984, here we go. New speak. All right, everyone. Thanks for watching. Take care. Let me know what you think. God bless. Bye.